Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here with another Columbus, Ohio video. We're going to try to do an arena run. I'm not actually sure I'm going to be able to finish this thing. But since I haven't done any arena runs in a long time, I'm just going to take this opportunity to play the class I've played the least, which is the Paladin. Let's fight with honor, shall we? And kick things off with a nice rare. Ooh, good rares, all three of these. Boy, it's tough. I mean, the Knife Jugglers are such a great early minion. And later in the game it has utility as well, but I will take the Argent Commander. I'm not sure that's the right move, but it gives some reach to the deck and some removal into minions, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Okay, Light's Justice isn't bad, but I will take the Blessing of Kings. That can be a real game changer. Here we have, unfortunately, not the greatest card of all time. I'll take the Farseer, though, good for some healing to have in the deck. Here is an Ooze. I don't want to take Elven Archer, not as a Paladin. And here, I could go for Leper Gnome and try to do an aggro deck. I'm not that big a fan of aggro with Paladin, though, so we'll just take the Chillwind Yeti and keep it simple, keep it safe. Hammer of Wrath is another easy choice. Here, I know some people are screaming for me to take the Frostwolf Warlord because people really like this card, but it's just so hit or miss. It's like 50-50, and 50-50 is not good enough, so I'll take a Dark Iron Dwarf, which is much more solid. Now here's an interesting moment. I mean, the Stormwind Knight I think is the best of these cards. It gives some reach, gives some removal, gives a good 4-drop, but you can see I've got this spike here that I should watch out for. So what I'm going to do, I think, is actually grab the Geomancer in case I get a Consecration later on. The Geomancer is great with that, and then the Geomancer makes Hammer of Wrath a little better as well. Fen Creeper, adding some Taunt to the deck and some big defense is also a solid choice. Taunt can be nice to have. Alright, now speaking of Taunt, the Grizzly looks tempting here, so does the Crusader. The Crusader I think is generally better, so I'll continue to pass on the Taunt, even though I realize I had two chances to take a decent taunting card and I passed them both up. Peacekeeper's almost unpassable, so I'll still take that easily enough, and I'll take Novice Engineer. I don't want to take a mediocre 4-drop. Eye for an Eye obviously is unplayable garbage, and some people are like, oh, it's just like the hero ability. Yes, but it draws a card as well, so it's better than the hero ability of the Paladin. Now, I can take some more healing, but I will grab the Golem. I want to keep my curve a little bit lower, if I can, because of all the 4-drops I'm likely to have, I want to make sure that my curve is relatively low, because having tons and tons of 4-drops is about equivalent, I think, to having, a bunch of a big smattering of endgame cards. Now, the Hunter is the only playable card there, so let's just take it without further ado and think. The Archmage is decent. Without Consecration, though, the spell damage isn't that useful. In fact, the only thing that works with spell damage here is Hammer of Wrath. The Acolyte is good for some card draw, and I will grab that, because I currently have none. Alright. I have another chance for a mediocre Taunter in the Lord of the Arena. Not a mediocre. The Fen Creeper and the Grizzly, I'd say, were above mediocre. Fen Creeper in particular is a better card than Lord of the Arena. It has more health for 1 less mana. But I'll take the Smith here. Good 5-drop, good stats. And here, we have a choice. I don't want to take Humility, especially since I already have a Peacekeeper. So I can take this early drop, or I can take this weapon, which can be nice, especially because I have no True Silver Champions. It might be nice to have this for some extra damage coming through. But the Argent Squire also has 1 damage, and it's a creature, so we're going to take the Argent Squire. Not sure that was the right call, but that's the call I've made. Alright, here we'll take a Fen Creeper, because I do need some Taunt in here somewhere. And Shattered Sun Cleric is a good card, but I'll actually take another Fen Creeper. Okay. Here I'm going to make a move Bloodsail Raider. The Raid Leader is tempting, but I have a lot of 3-drops, and as you know if you've watched my other videos, having a pile of 3-drops is my least favorite thing in the world. They're not cheap enough to be played early on to give you an advantage, but they're very weak very quickly. So we'll take the Raider, even though it's going to be vanilla. I just want some 2-drops at the bottom part of this curve. Okay, so Lay on Hands is an interesting card. It can catch you up in some cases, but other times you're just behind and it's not enough. I will take the Sea Giant here, just have a nice big body at the end. Okay, we'll take a Geomancer here. It's number 2. True Silver Champion, number 1. Still hoping for a Consecration, of course. Okay, we'll take a Brewmaster, maybe get extra use out of the Peacekeeper or the Farseer, or the Novice Engineer, maybe even the Ooze. Or there's a fair amount of synergy with that. Okay, so here's a moment. I can either take this guy for some endgame and healing, or the Yeti. Now, this is only a little bit bigger than the Yeti, just 2 extra stat points for 3 extra mana, and I've got some life gain here already with the Farseer. My curve is a bit high because I took these Fen Creepers and the Smith a little bit aggressively, so we will take the Yeti here to keep our curve down. Alright, we'll take a Silencer so we can get past taunts. This guy I was really hoping for. However, consideration must be given to the Cult Master, because that card can be a blowout. The Cult Master is good, but the Argent Protector is just very strong. I will take a Cult Master if one comes along. Here we'll take Noble Sacrifice over the Suck Bomber. And I think another Hammer of Wrath would be great to have. There's the Consecration. So with 2 Geomancers and just Consecration being a really good... I like how I'm trying to like justify having a Consecration. Like, well, I do have 2 Kobold Geomancers. No, Consecration is just amazing, so I'm lucky to have gotten one in the 11th hour of this draft. Well, I think this is a pretty good deck. I mean, probably the curve's a little bit wanky with maybe too many 5s and ups. I might get into some slow starts and have a hard time catching back up. It doesn't really have that much removal. Apart from the Hammers, the Consecration, the True Silver, really we didn't get any Bluegills, any Wolf Riders. Just the Argent Commander as a charge creature. So yeah, the removal front we're a bit lacking. So if I get off to a slow start, I could be in trouble in a lot of games. So this isn't like the greatest Paladin deck, but I will go on the record as saying I think it's fine. And we'll mulligan this stuff, hoping for a 2-drop. As I've often said, I'm totally in favor of playing an early outdoor Peacekeeper. However, since he's the only one that I have in my deck, and I'm otherwise lacking for removal, I hope I do not need to play him on turn 3. Let's say the opponent plays whatever, like an Iron for a Grizzly or something, I might actually be tempted to play this Peacekeeper out. Okay, so we could coin into a Novice Engineer. Now, normally I'd say that's a mistake to trade the coin for a Novice Engineer, because the coin is more valuable than a random card. But the advantage of playing this is that it allows me to kill off the recruit he's going to make next turn. The problem is if he plays a real creature, then the Novice Engineer just gets outclassed. So I'm not going to do it. But if this were like an Amani Berserker or something, then I would have actually coined it out. Okay, he does in fact just have a recruit. So we can try to play the Novice Engineer and just kill this thing, but I am actually going to pop my coin and get the Hunter out here. He is likely to play some kind of a 3-drop. I want to have bodies on the board to try to deal with it. And I may need to play a Peacekeeper. Wolf Rider. Well, I'm not going to be playing Peacekeeper. He is just going to clear the board. So the Wolf Rider and the Recruit trade for my Razorfin Hunter. That's pretty decent. We got our 5-drops ready to go, which is unfortunate because even though I have a pile of 4-drops in this deck, I didn't get any until I got the True Silver Champion, and I used my coin, so I'm not going to get to accelerate these. But maybe next turn I will just be playing a True Silver Champion. Let's say he plays a Chillwind Yeti, True Silver plus Novice Engineer will take that down. Okay, here's the dude and a Secret. Well, the Secret's fine. It's probably a Noble Sacrifice. So no Probalo. Oh, I have 2 Peacekeepers. Wow, I totally forgot that I had 2 Peacekeepers. I apologize. I apparently had some miscommentary here. I said I only had 1. Apparently I had 2. So we're going to go ahead and attack his face. Check for eye for an eye Noble Sacrifice. Oh, look, it's Noble Sacrifice. So the Noble Sacrifice, he is going a card down for this because the Novice Engineer kills it, but the Novice Engineer drew me a card. And I do get to kill this, getting further card advantage. So I'd say that I'm actually in a pretty compelling, shall we say, lead at this juncture, with him having just 5 cards to my 6, and I also have a weapon. Now, he's got the play, so all he has going for him right now is initiative, and he needs to play top-notch cards every turn. Now, the game's not over yet by any stretch, but he does really need to play top-notch cards at every step to do well. Alright, so which 5-drop do you play? The Smith or the Creeper? They both have 6 health. The Smith hits harder, but it's irrelevant. And the Fen Creeper has taunt, but that's also rather irrelevant.
Let me think.
We'll go for the Smith. Now, the reason I went for the Smith is, on the off chance that he were to play something with a lot of health, let's say a Fen Creeper, Boulder Festoger actually wouldn't really work, but let's just say I could perhaps... Actually, no, a Boulder Festoger would work as well. I could run the Smith into the Senjin, enrage it, and consecrate and kill it with the weapon being enraged, but all that is a pipe dream because he's actually going to kill my Spiteful Smith on this turn. Luckily, the 1 damage that the Senjin took is enough because this allows me to just kill it with my True Silver Champion. The question is, what else am I doing with my life? Well, I think what I'm going to do is play a Fen Creeper and a Noble Sacrifice myself. I am going to go down a card. That Noble Sacrifice is going to die to this True Silver Champion, but you know what? I'd rather the Noble Sacrifice die to the True Silver Champion and use my mana for that turn, rather than instead of having it go to waste, than just, you know, sit around doing nothing and let the True Silver Champion deal 4 damage to a minion. Observe, please, that I do have this owl, so if my opponent actually silences or peacekeeps me, I can use the owl to pop my minion back to full health. So there he goes, he pops the Noble Sacrifice, quite intelligent, but good for me as well. Good for me as well. So here what I could do is I could actually pop the owl to silence the Silver Moon Guardian, allowing me to then kill it. Is that worth doing? I could consecrate also to kill everything off. Yeah, we'll do this. So, if I Peacekeep this, it's essentially the same as using a Farseer. So I might as well use the Farseer because the Peacekeepers are potentially more valuable. I will save the Consecration for a later time. So we'll do this. Heal this back up. Get a recruit for the first time in the game. And, well, I've got, you know, all this bearing down against this Humble Wolf. And things are looking bad for Little Cowboy. I just had slightly better creatures putting onto the board than he did all throughout the game. A key turn was turn 3 when he just had a Wolf Rider to respond to my Razorfin Hunter. And then on turn 4 and 5 when he just didn't have anything good. Now he gets a card back with the Hammer of Wrath, but it's probably going to be too little too late. There's a second True Silver Champion. He can trade the Wolf and 1 tick of the weapon for the Fen Creeper, which he will do. And I can play a Dark Iron Dwarf, although I'm not that thrilled about it. Because it will just die to the weapon. However, I'm going to do it anyway. Scarlet Crusader, and swing for some damage. So now the True Silver will kill my Dwarf, but still I've got 3 creatures on the board, and he only has 3 cards in his hand. I've got a recruit to trade with his recruits if he makes those. Maybe I should have used the Peacekeeper instead of the Farseer, because if he doesn't play anything that's worth Peacekeeping, then these guys are going to get wasted, whereas the Farseer I could have played and just healed myself if needed. Alright, so he has a Peacekeeper for my Scarlet Crusader. Interesting. I guess he is going to use the True Silver to kill my Dwarf. This prevents me from having the ready kill for his own Peacekeeper. Pretty smart. There's a Tiger, which is actually a pretty good card here. You know, I'm falling a bit behind. Look at this hand. It's not doing anything for me, and my board is pretty weak. Oh boy. Well, let's do what we can. Doesn't matter, because everything's at 1 health, so Peacekeeping that really makes no measurable difference. I'm just putting that down basically as a body. I can't kill this Tiger anyway, so I'm not going to run my stuff into his Peacekeeper. There's really no point. And we'll pass the turn here. So now you can use this Tiger to kill my Peacekeeper, and you can use this Peacekeeper to kill off my Owl. Then these 2 things will both die to Consecration. And hopefully whatever else he plays will die to Consecration as well, or if he plays anything huge, I have 1 more Peacekeeper to use. There's a Stormwind Knight to clear out more of my board. Actually, that Peacekeeper on the Scarlet Crusader is profoundly annoying. It's making it hard for me to kill off his stuff. Very, very difficult indeed.
Reporting for duty.
And he plays Holy Light, so he's just playing with junk stuff. Alright, now that does heal the Tiger, which makes it difficult for me to kill it. In fact, it no longer dies to Consecration. Hammer of Wrath, however, is a pretty good card. So let's Hammer of Wrath. Get a card. Consecrate. Play Recruit and think. I mean, I'm just going to pop my Divine Shields for this. It is possible, of course, that he will top deck a Consecration, then I will regret that I lost these Divine Shields instead of throwing my Recruit away, but the odds of that are small, and I want to have as many bodies on the board as possible to plank him to death. You know, I really ran out of steam here. Didn't get enough of my 4-drops, got too many of my 3-drops. This is why I don't like armies of 3-drops, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't. Geomancer, not that special. Well, let's... I'm just gonna check. Okay, so it's not Repentance. Okay, it's Redemption is the secret. So there's really... I'm not gonna throw 2 things just killing off this Recruit. He really needs to top deck a Consecration soon, or else my little army of Wingnuts is going to plank him to death. But yes, I figured out the secret because the Golem didn't get repented, and I hit him, and it wasn't Eye for an Eye or Noble Sacrifice, so I knew then that it was Redemption, and there was no point running 2 things into this just to kill it for real. Alright, Little Cowboy goes down, although that was harder than I expected because I really ran out of steam. But we got the win in the end. He just had a pretty mediocre deck. Hard to say if it was bad luck, bad draw, or bad drafting. Perhaps I should have taken a few more high-end cards, but you know, honestly, I mean, I got my Smith and my Fen Creeper, and I played them both. He just was able to remove them. He was able to kill both of my 6 toughness 5-drops. Didn't get my Sea Giant, though I would have liked to. And my Arching Commander would have been nice as well. Alright, we got a Warlock here. don't see a reason to keep the owl with my other 2-drops, so we'll just pass that back. Asapopolis. Interesting name. Very interesting name. By interesting, I mean stupid. So we will probably hang on to this Bloodsail Raider. I mean, I've got the True Silver Champion Bloodsail Raider combo. And sure, a 6/3 dice to a lot of stuff, but I mean, it is a huge threat, and the opponent absolutely has to kill it. And it's only a 2-minute creature in the end, so I'm going to go for it if I can. Okay, now he's coining something out, so maybe I'll change my mind. We'll see. Knife Juggler. Alright, well, since he played a Knife Juggler, unfortunately, we have to put our dreams aside. I will, in fact, play the Bloodsail Raider and try to get the kill for that Knife Juggler before it goes out of control. Alright, something's texting me.
One shot, one.
Elven Archer, does he have something to do besides that? Voidwalker. Well, the Voidwalker is actually pretty irritating because, unfortunately, it stops my Bloodsail Raider from killing off that Knife Juggler. That is quite unfortunate. Well, let's, I don't want to throw my Geomancer away, so let's fish for a card here. Ooh, that would have been nice to play, actually. We're going to run into the Voidwalker, try to finish it off. Unfortunately, with these 1-toughness minions and him clearly playing an aggro Warlock, like, I could be in a world of hurt very, very quickly, but do not get Consecration in time. He's likely just to throw down a whole bunch of minions right now. Alright, so there's Knife Juggler again, and all my team is dead. I have to throw away 1 ping of True Silver Champion just to kill the Voidwalker. It gives me what I think is a rather premature well played. Are you kidding me, dude? Well, it's not over yet. So these 2 Knife Jugglers are a problem. I didn't get a Consecration. I had 1 in the deck, didn't get it. I have back-to-back Fen Creepers, but with those double Knife Jugglers and him having an aggro deck, this turn could just be an absolute nightmare. With 2 Knifelings per creature, he's likely to get some free kills on my stuff, but True Silver Championing of Voidwalker just wasn't worth it. I'm going to try to make him burn through both of these Fen Creepers before I play the True Silver Champion out. So he gets 2 Knifelings there, 1 for each of my minions, okay, could be worse. Another 1-drop, oh my god. Okay, the Geomancer dies, my Ooze is hanging in there. Oh my god, aggro, I hate aggro so much. So now there's only a 25% chance my Ooze will live. The odds do not happen. I will win if I get Consecration. You have to understand. If I could just get that 1 card, I would win this game. But because I did not get it, let's see, does the Fen Creeper even do anything? He could just throw Knife Jugglers at it and then... Well, he doesn't need to throw the Knife Jugglers. You can just throw these 3 things at it. I go down to 8 and then I'm dead. So well played, and I lose. That was a pretty retarded game, with apologies to people who are offended by that word, but there is no other word in the English language quite like it, and I don't like word wars. That was a retarded game, and we just take a loss. So thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you soon with some more of the games from this run. Take care.